Let's go. Game time.
The standard is the standard. That's our motto. That's our creed.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Better Baby Daddy podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, John Laxman,
And I am your other co-host, Kelly Burgess.
and today we are joined by the positive and powerful Lee. Lee, can you tell us why you're joining us here on the Better Baby Daddy Club?
Oh man, come on. The name in itself is enough. Like better baby daddy club. Like that intrigues me in and of itself. Just the name says, "Oh, I want to go and talk to these guys." And of course, I've watched you a few times, and some of the subject matter that you guys are delving into is near and dear to my heart. And it's not just better baby daddies. I've noticed that you guys have some baby mamas or some ladies
Yes,
on
sir.
here as well,
Yeah,
and some
yes, sir.
and some of those perspectives need a counterintuitive because yeah, they on here saying some things that us baby daddies out here need to address a little. So that also intrigued me as well. And you know what? To be completely transparent, I am looking to enter into the podcast arena. And what better
Mm.
way to enter into the arena is to, be a guest and understand what it's all about. So yeah, that's where I am with you guys. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So as soon as you get up and running, we're gonna have to jump on there with you, man.
A- 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 Absolutely, absolutely. That would be
Yeah.
that would be a pleasure. You guys are you
So,
guys are you guys are going to expand because I mean, the niche, the things that you're talking about, and you talked a little bit to me about the pillars earlier.
mhm.
I mean, like you're touching a lot of points that we need in our community, baby daddy or not.
Mm, there it is. There it is. Well, I was reading over your intake form, Lee, and there were some things on that form, brother, that like we got to get to, but we're going to get to those in a second. But I want you to tell a little bit of your story and how you got to this point in your life. And then we can dive into some of those intake answers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man, brother Burgess, 60 years is a lot of story there. I'll give you the abbreviated version. I am a product of a single mom home. I was raised by my mother and my grandparents they passed away when I was young, but most of my formative years I spent on my granddaddy's farm.
Mm,
And he was a evangelist, a preacher. And what
mm,
he did for a living, he built churches. So my formative years was spent either in a church or helping my granddaddy build the church. To the
wow.
point, to the point, me and church have a interesting relationship at this point in my life. And so I'm one of six of my mother's kids, right?
Mhm.
And then my papa was a Rolling Stone talking about better baby daddy. My dad had 22 children. Uh, about yeah, about 11 of which I know personally.
Mm,
Most of my siblings on my dad's side I met in death. So when they passed away, I would find out that is one of my siblings who I had met at a recent funeral. That another one of my siblings had died. So uh,
wow.
that's been an interesting journey, and that's all happened in my late 40s on.
Wow.
So up until then, I knew who my father was. I knew the mystery of my father. Here's an interesting thing. He worked in the school system. He was a janitor. And he was cleaning up.
Clearly,
clearly,
clearly.
clearly he was doing some building maintenance. And I grew up over on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So, for
Okay.
those of you who don't know about the Eastern Shore, it's like I'm about halfway between here and Ocean City. So in a small
Okay.
town called in Cambridge. The Hyatt Resort is the big thing over there. So
Mm,
I grew up uh, picking cucumbers, tomatoes, and in the field. Because, like I said, my grandfather was a farmer. He had the well, he's like the watermelon man. You see on the side of the road selling the watermelons out of the big containers and produce. And he also had hogs. So I grew up on a hog farm. Um, you know, my siblings are older than me, so I have one younger brother. He turns 56 this year. And then my older siblings are 15, 20 years older than me,
Oh,
which is crazy.
wow.
I was born when my mother turned 37, and then my
So
younger.
where do you fit into that? Because that's a total of 28 kids. Where do you fit into
Mhm.
that boom, 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 boom?
So uh, almost at the end. Almost at the end
Wow.
on both
Wow.
sides. So I have one younger brother of my mom's kids, and I think I have one younger sibling that I've never met on my father's side. Everyone else is older. So I'm 60. My next youngest sister on my mother's side is in her 70s. So my siblings are
Oof.
um, much older folks. And so I grew up. Uh, Kind of being raised by my siblings as well. And my mother worked at night, so that was always that was always fun times because
So, okay.
oh, man, I was free to do a lot. Um, so growing up, I realized where I lived. Cambridge is a small town. My brothers and sisters live blocks away from where my mother's house was. I just realized real early on that I needed to get out of this one horse town. Like I got to
Hmm.
get up out of here. So there's only a couple ways you could do that. Either go to college, which when I
Uh-huh.
graduated from high school, I was not ready to do. I went into the military. I went into the army. Went into the army under the buddy system. The guy that I went in as a buddy with ended up dropping out. So I ended up in the military by myself. Went through boot camp by myself. Ended up in military intelligence. Spent about 8 years in the military. Got out of the military. Finally went to college. Um,
Lee, 1 second right there.
Mhm.
So we're gonna pause for a second because we're still having some technical difficulties.
Can
Sure.
y'all hear me at all?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
You can hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
I
Can
can't
you
hear
you
you.
can
The video's working, but I can't hear you.
is it anything with your headphones?
Yeah, so it's not the earphones because the audio is actually coming through the computer. But video and everything is looking good. So um it cut out right after you Mr. Lee talked about the ladies that we had on the podcast. Then the audio
Man,
just
that
cut
was a
out
while
after
back.
that. So I just
So
was
you
sitting here nodding. So hopefully you can edit, do the edits because couldn't hear a thing. But man, it looked good.
so
So
you can't hear you
if I exit, try to come back
uh-huh.
in one more time.
Uh-huh. Yes. Go ahead if you can
Yep.
hear.
All right.
You can hear us? This is the
Yeah.
most trouble we've ever had. We've never had this much trouble before.
Hey man, that's the story. That's the story of my life. That's the story.
But
I'm the trouble
I'll be
child.
man, and this is the platform we use. Riverside is like one of the best platforms too. So it's interesting that it's not working. Yeah,
Yeah,
Still
it's
not
it's
working.
probably
All right. Let me try something else.
yeah. This is like there's a couple platforms out there for this like recording, and
Mhm,
Riverside's top two, top maybe the top one. And so
mhm.
it's interesting that this is just messing up. And we pay for the pro version. So
Oh wow.
yes.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Cause I have a friend of mine who does a podcast, and they do the in-person one, and he was telling me recently that the
Hmm.
biggest cost for them is that studio time. Like they really have, because they have a professional studio that they's like, man,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I have to share with you his link. It's called what is the name of that podcast? Can't think of the name of it. It's oh man, it's slipping my mind right now. But I'll share it with you. You can check them out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely do that.
they have a production team and the whole nine. But these
Oh
are
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this is just us. This is our protection team, our editing team, everything.
yeah. They got a couple dollars. They got a couple dollars,
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
guess so.
Because I'm glad and this is all beautiful to me because I'm glad I met y'all because I was looking at them like, oh, I'm never gonna get a podcast off the ground if I have to go through all of that.
Hey, well, when you see us in studio, like when you see us sitting next to each other, that's literally in Eisenhower in one of the offices. We just set it up. We bought all
Oh
that stuff.
wow.
We bought all that
Oh
stuff
wow.
off of Amazon. I'd say our studio cost us, and the chairs, the curtain. We film off a cell phone still. Um, some of the lighting. I would say everything probably under 750.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it looks really, really
Yeah.
professional, really good.
Oh, oh, that's
Um,
what's up.
yeah. And
Yeah, we just
that's the I guess that's the I forget what you guys call it, but it's like your meeting space or whatever, the
where we meet for the better where we film the studio. You're saying it's literally my office in Eisenhower. It's just you can't see my desk and everything. That's all it is. It's the backside of my office.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the
Wow.
office. It's the little room that was the copy room when you were there down by the library.
Oh yeah. Oh dang. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's that's all you need is a backdrop, some seats, and then some of the minor equipment until you're ready to go big time, and then you can buy some of the expensive stuff. Yeah.
Brother Burgess is he's going from one extreme to the other tonight. Now he's back on video, but the video's grainy. Oh, there you go. He cleared up.
All right.
No, okay. So,
Can you hear
L,
us,
you gonna
B?
have to put your. I can hear you, but before I was on my
Okay.
laptop, and now I'm on the phone,
Mhm.
and the phone doesn't give the video quality. That's when we had those issues with
Oh,
me cutting in and out video wise. So
okay. So you're
I'm gonna
going
get
to
a
a
little
different
close to the
location.
router.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to a different location. Have to find a spot that'll.
Is your phone connected to the Wi-Fi right now? Or is it just on mobile?
No, it's connected to the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Well, let me double check because you know I'm an old
Yeah.
head. So
You
yeah,
you still a youngster, man. You still a
yeah,
youngster.
yeah. No, it's on the Wi-Fi. How's the video
There
quality
you go.
there?
Yeah, it's better than it was in the
Mm,
basement for sure.
all right. Well, I try to keep it so that Pam's gonna be coming home. Yes, Pam's my wife. She's gonna be coming home soon, so I'll probably try to keep her on this side of
All
things.
right. All right. Babe, let me catch you up real quick since,
All right, let's roll.
yeah, let me catch you up real quick. So Mr. Lee just had talked about his father, how his father was a Rolling Stone, essentially, 28 kids.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, six
Woo!
on his mother's side, the other 22 on his father's side. He is the third youngest, he believes, but he's not sure because his father's
Wow.
side is a little convoluted, to say the least, I would say. He
To
also
say
said
the least.
his
Dang.
father was a maintenance man at a local school, so he was really cleaning up. That's what he said.
He was maintaining. He was maintaining.
He was providing services for sure.
Yes.
Hey, hey.
For sure.
So
Wow.
we
My
can pick up
goodness.
right from here. B, you have any well, Lee,
Mhm.
when you left off, you were talking about your grandfather selling
Uh,
watermelons. I remember that part.
yeah, yeah,
And
yep,
then
yep,
somewhere
yep.
around there. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of my formative years was I spent on my grandfather's farm, and he was like the guy who would grow produce. He would have his grandkids go out and pick the produce, and then on Saturday and Sundays we'd be post up somewhere and be the little uh, fresh grocery stand on the side of the highway that you might see. You probably see
Mhm.
them if you ever go down to the Eastern Shore. Now
All the time.
you probably see two or three of them. My
Yeah.
grandfather would have one of them, and then my mother she was a laborer. She worked at a soup company. She worked for a soup. She actually worked for Campbell Soup for many
Oh
years.
wow.
And then later on, she worked for Tuna Bumblebee Tuna company. So
Wow.
she was always a laborer. as far as I remember. And then, uh, you know, education was always important for us. Um, I was telling Latch I was not ready for college when I graduated from high school. So me and a buddy went into the army. He dropped out, left me left me in the army. I did about 8 years in the army. Left him and went to
Wow.
and went to college. So I've never paid a college tuition. So we talk about better baby
Mm,
daddy stuff. My kids know not to come to me for college tuition. I,
mm.
I've
He like,
never
look,
I've
There's
never paid
options.
I've never paid a dollar in tuition costs. I have uh the undergraduate, and I had three master's degrees, post
Wow.
postmaster's certificate for administration, EDS, a terminal degree, and the most I paid for is the laptop to be able to continue my education. So that's a
Mm,
big thing for me with my sons, is like you either create it on the front side by being an academic. I was decent. I was a decent student. I'm not going to say I was setting the world on fire. Um, or on the back end, you're gonna work for it and save, or you're gonna go into the military and use the good old GI Bill like I did. Um, so that's one of my anchor statements to my kids. You can go to college, no problem. I'll come down. I help you set up. I even buy your groceries and stuff for you, but I do not pay tuition.
mm,
And
wow. So that takes planning,
yes, yes,
right?
yeah.
And so at what point do you? Well, first of all, I got to talk to you offline because I got to figure out your strategies for stacking these degrees and not having to pay anybody for them. But I applaud you because that is forward thinking, and that's one of the things that, man, we want the men on the platform to do. At what point did you have these conversations with your kids? Were they in middle school and they just knew, or high school, or
uh, very as far back as I can remember. Um, I
wow,
always I always let them know that you have three options: homelessness, college, or the military. And if you decide to go to college, your dad is not paying tuition. Now a lot of people, even my two ex-wives, thought that was the harshest thing. And I'm like, I am no one special. If I can do
mhm,
that, they can do that. I believe in this. My grandfather taught me a really, really good trick when I was, that whole adage is shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you're amongst the stars. My grandfather used to trick me all the time as a kid, right? Let's say, for instance, we were tilling the field or something like that, and he would say, "Darren, we have 6 more acres to do," and I'd be like, "Dang, we're gonna be out here all day." And after about 2.5 acres, he'd be like, "Son, we're done for the day. Let's go." And because my
mm,
mindset was 6 acres and I had a full day of work to do, when I got to that 2 acres, I was done. And he played those kind of tricks on me all the time. We'd be in the city. He'd be like, "Man, we got 10 blocks to walk. After 4 blocks, we're there." And so that was I think that kind of set me up to build that into my kids. Like, you know, you have to think beyond what it is that you're going to do, if you're ever going to reach it. Because if that's your stopping point, that's what you see. So you have to be thinking beyond that. And I don't know if it worked or not, but both of my sons are what my youngest is in his third year at William and Mary. My oldest, he started out at PG, finished at Bowie. Like I said, he called me for money for a laptop. My youngest, he wanted to live off campus. Shot him some money for housing, but I've never seen a tuition bill. No one's sent me a tuition bill. No one's ever asked me, "Hey, Dad, can you pay my tuition this semester?" So I don't know they're if I built fear, or if they just learned how to think forward and like, well, I can't depend on my dad for that. And another thing that my grandfather used to always teach me, he said, "Son, I'm setting you up for the day that I'm not here." Remember, I grew up without a father, so he was he was the father figure for me. He was like, I'm setting you up for the day that I'm not here. So if I'm gone tomorrow, what do you do? How do you keep going? Now I'm 78 years old. I'm like, yo, granddad, if you go tomorrow, I'm in trouble. That's what's gonna happen. So my grandfather passed away. My grandmother passed away when I was about 8 or 9. That's a whole nother story. And last we were talking a little bit offline about uh how the grandparents of your kids are just like pouring into them, giving them everything. Just that was my grandmother. Like, this kid can do no wrong, to the point where she would get into it with my mother. If he wants to have a mink coat, this kid is getting a mink coat because he deserves whatever. This is that was my grandmother. She spoiled me stinky rotten. But my grandfather, on the other hand, he was always in the mindset of setting me up for when he's no longer here. And he passed away my freshman year of college, and it was a difficult time. But I was like, a lot of my family members was looking at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been prepared for this day since for as long as I can remember." So it didn't impact me that greatly. And then after I finished college, it all started. Uh,
Well, let's talk about that.
Nothing can really prepare you for that, can it?
oh man, because
Man, oh
we're talking
man.
about the better baby daddy. So I got
Uh-huh.
my senior year of college. I got my first wife pregnant with my oldest, and shotgun. That was straight shotgun. Her
Oh,
dad,
okay.
her dad was a preacher, and and before he could get word that I had got his baby pregnant, we had gone down to the justice of the peace. And and, and look, hey, the first time I had a conversation with him, I was there with my chest out, like what? Yeah, I got her pregnant. That's my wife. What, not you know, not
Whoa.
knowing the whole backstory. And
uh,
and and, and so my first wife and I, we're the greatest of friends right to the day. But we had
mhm,
no business getting married whatsoever. Like
mm,
like we're really good friends, but partners. It
mm.
was man, and so I graduated in May. We got married in like October. Son was born in November. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So it was the I didn't see any shotguns, but I felt like I had a shotgun uh to my back. So, and I realized as soon as my son was born, outside of my grandfather, I had no frame of reference for raising kids
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Hmm.
And I definitely had no frame of reference to how to be a husband, because
Hmm.
none of the men in my family married anybody. They impregnated them, they
Yeah.
paid child support, and that was just
They had a plan.
that was just the way to work it out. So that whole husband thing, I was building that plane as I was flying it, and I'll tell you right now, I was so plain. It was
Mm.
so it was so plain. I had all of these.
Yeah.
I had, they talk about social media now, but even back then. So my son was born in 1991, right?
Okay.
But even back then, there was TV images on how. So my son's name, and hopefully I'm not all over the place, but my son's name comes from the movie Boys in the Hood. His name is Trey.
Oh, okay.
So so you see where I was learning from, right? I was learning from what I saw on TV. I was learning
Yeah.
from what I saw in the movies, and my image of what a husband was Heathcliff Huxtable. You know,
Mm.
uh,
Furious
very,
Styles. You was Lawrence
man.
Fishburne.
Look,
Hey, was
look.
you a little Uncle Phil too?
I was a little bit of Uncle Phil. I was probably some George Jefferson. Uh, And I for sure was James Evans Jr. for sure. I mean James Evans Senior from Good Times.
See?
I was for sure James
Okay.
Evans, and so you know I make light of that now, but in retrospect, now that I'm actually sitting here in this moment thinking those were my frames of reference because there
Hmm.
were there were there were no men that were marrying anybody in my circle coming up, and they yes everybody was having babies, but and the one thing that I knew about being a baby daddy was paying child support. So me being the antagonist to all of that, like right, I want to get out of my hometown. I know that this one horse town is not where I want to be, and if I ever become a father, I'm not going to be like those guys, right? So,
Hmm.
uh, I just took on the role, and I knew that if I kept my son close to me, we could learn this thing together, and it's really interesting. I see my oldest son, he'll be 35 in November. I see so much of me in him now to the point where people like you really look like your dad when he was 35, and I'm like, as long as he wasn't acting like I was at 35, he's good to go. And both of my sons are really low key. If you can catch it at all, Mr. Burgess, I'm a real high energy guy. My claim to fame is sometimes I do a little bit too much. But my sons are polar opposites. They're real low key. If they didn't speak, you wouldn't know they were in the room. So maybe some of my bravado kind of made them a little bit more reserved. I mean, I hear that, that sometimes when you have a outward extrovert parent, you sometimes grow up to be somewhat of an introvert. Yeah.
Mr.
So,
Lee,
mhm,
I got a question real
uh-huh.
quick here about something you said that I think the audience would really like to be able to see what you meant there. And you said
Mhm,
your wife, your first wife and you were great friends, but had
mhm.
no business being married. How does a man that's walking through life is like, dang, this woman, we're great. We laugh together. We have all this fun together. How does he determine, like, okay, we're great friends, but should I actually marry this person? Should I actually be in a relationship with this
Yeah.
person? Like,
Yeah.
how did you figure that
Yeah.
out?
Real talk.
Like our honeymoon, like we had the shotgun wedding. We went to the Justice of the Peace, but we actually later on after our son was born, we had an actual wedding. Our
Hmm.
honeymoon night, we didn't even sleep in the same hotel room. Like
Wow.
her parents had got a nice suite for us and all of that, and she stayed in the suite, and I stayed in a separate room so I could hang out
Mm.
with my buddies. My
Oh,
honeymoon
wow.
night. We went on our honeymoon. Somebody gave us a trip to the Bahamas. We went to the Bahamas. There was no consummation. We were just hanging out. And then once we got back from the honeymoon, we realized that we didn't have a plan for life whatsoever.
Mm.
Right? We had a really She was a teacher, I was a teacher. We had decent income at that time. Now, mind you, my first teaching job was 22.5. And but we had a really nice apartment out here in Upper Marlboro. We did eventually buy a house together. So we could do things together, but in terms of like a long range planning or developing a family, it's just we were two friends who realized that we were probably on the front end of the spectrum in terms of growth, but we had no long term plan. So after we bought the house, after we had the kid, we didn't know what to do, and we just
Mm.
got on each other's last nerve. So
Mm.
we got married in early '92, and we divorced in 2000. So we were together for about 8 years. 8 years is my number. And I'll tell you that'll be another story. Um, but we were only of those 8 years, we were only together about two and a half of those years. The rest of the time we were separated,
What do you mean by
co-parenting.
separated
Separated,
outside the homes?
different,
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Yep.
different households.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
We
All
were
right.
we were separated. We were doing the commingling thing every now and then, um, for comfort probably. Uh, and then finally, after a while, we both was like, "What are we doing?"
Mm,
And we took off the veil, right? And we stopped being what we thought everybody else had figured it out already anyway, including her parents. We took off the veil and we decided to move forward. And once because the last 2 years were really, really awful. We were awful people to each other, great friends to awful people to each other, uh, to having to like really rebuild a relationship after we divorced. So we had to rebuild a relationship to raise a child because he was
Yeah.
he was 7, 8 years old when we divorced. And then so I divorced, and so I wilded out for a little while, as we do, and then I met my second wife, my baby boy's mom, on a humbug. Uh, Friend of mine was a office manager for a law firm. We were strictly platonic, but we would often have lunch together. And I called her to confirm a lunch appointment, and my son's mother answered the phone and said the wrong law firm. Like, so I was like, "Oh, I got to come up there and find out who you are because you don't even know where you work." Few jokes, few jokes, and the next thing you know, we are in a whirlwind 8 year uh marriage, kid. Uh, I got married. I married her on a Wednesday. This is a true story. And I have to take a moment sometimes because I have to really think about who I was back then. We got married on a Wednesday. That weekend, that same weekend, I was in New York with another broad, another chick.
wow.
Mm,
Wow.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was
We can have
I
some
was I
errors.
was in that I was in that stage. I was in a stage of my life where I was doing things. Clearly, I was manic. Right.
Mm,
That's another part of my story that we can talk about. But clearly, at that stage of my life, I was manic. I was just doing things on a whim, and got this girl pregnant. Whenever I got him pregnant, I went back to one of my triggers, which is I'm a church boy. I can't have her pregnant and not marry her,
uh-huh.
because that's what we do.
Right.
Married her,
Yeah.
married her again. No plan. I'm wilding out. I haven't finished wilding out from the marriage that I just finished. And
Real quick. I just for clarity's, I'll let you get back to the story. For clarity,
Mhm.
you got the woman in New York pregnant, or you got your wife that you just married pregnant?
No, my wife that I just married got her pregnant.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
got
All
her
right.
I got her pregnant, and that's why I married her.
Okay.
Another
I got
another justice of peace. Marriage. I know the people. If I ever go down to PG courthouse again, they're like, "Here he come again."
You look familiar.
You like it?
Lee? Oh, we got your paperwork. We got your paperwork ready.
Hey,
and we got the divorce one right here too.
hey, 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 Lax, you know something because you got to go down there. You got to go down there and confirm that you are
Yes.
divorced before you can get a new marriage license.
Hey,
Yes,
yep.
that that
Yes. I've
the
been down there a couple times for different things.
the same guy did my paperwork. He was like, "Yo, man, didn't you just hear?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm getting ready to get married." He's like, "Hey, man, I've seen this a few times, but yeah, yeah, yeah." And so, um, somehow or another, it was the back in the day where your cell phone bill still went to the house, so you didn't have, you get your phone bill online.
Yeah.
She gets my cell phone bill. She sees all of these calls to this girl in Ohio, calls the girl in Ohio. The girl outs me, and this
Mm,
was, first year, first 6 months.
mm.
And so she's a Pisces, and the rest of our marriage is skip back. So
Oh wow.
again,
Mm.
we were married for 8 years. So we got married in
Mm.
2003, late 2003, uh, and we were divorced in 2011. And again, we were only together about 3 years, three and a half, 4 years. And
Mm,
the last part was just tumultuous. So, which leads me to this other pillar that you guys talk about, this mental health pillar.
mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So, during and after the second divorce is when mental health like really hit me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got two kids, 15 years apart,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not with either one of the mothers. Um, and, my career is going great, but, I'm just feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling the failure. I'm feeling, I failed my grandfather. I'm feeling just a lot of things.
Mm,
So, quick flashback. When I was in college, I was having these episodes, just couldn't get out of bed, extremely tired, like couldn't figure out what it was. Credit my first wife. She's like, we need to go to the doctor. Went to the doctor, they did some tests, realized I suffered from manic depression, bipolar
mm,
disorder,
Mm.
bipolar one, right?
Mm.
So I've been through the medication gauntlet, lithium, Depakote,
mm,
Mm.
Respiradol. You pick a psychotropic. I've been on it at one point in time, and just I'm one of those. And there's a group of us. I'm one of those people that the psychotropics do more harm than they do help.
mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
so battle with the medication for many many years. So fast forward to the second divorce. I'm not on any medication, right? I'm trying to do the holistic thing, and I hadn't had any episodes. Hadn't nothing had occurred dramatic. I mean, I've probably had episodes of mania that I just didn't realize, but this time I felt off the cliff, like
Mm,
Mm.
manic one day, depressed the next, had to be
Mm.
hospitalized. Was out of my both of my kids' lives for a couple of years because I just needed to rebuild, learn the therapy path. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm hoping that things are better these days. Um, but therapy back then was a struggle because they were all Indian. All of the therapists were Indian or African, but mostly Indian, and they were women.
mm,
And it was more medication for me, my experience. I can't speak for anyone else. My experience was more medication management than actual being able to get these stories out, get these triggers out, talk about my father, talk about my childhood, talk about you know, being molested. I mean, just all of these different
mm.
things that my era, we just carried those things. I'm gonna just be honest. Like,
Yeah.
like
Mm,
Yeah.
you didn't tell anybody any of those, and because if you told anybody, you usually left the situation with a scarlet letter, right? Like, ooh, ooh,
mm,
Yeah.
ooh, I'm not sure about him, and you
Yeah.
definitely didn't tell your partner, because they were going to look at you in a different light. So my journey with that was finally uh, I finally found a therapist,
mm,
um, uh, through Bowie State University. I was a student at Bowie. I was in graduate school at Bowie State at the time, and she was excellent. She was excellent. I ended up having to stop seeing her because guess what?
She was real good.
Too good.
And I'm
She was very therapeutic.
I am really at a point in my life where I'm intentional about my
Mm,
therapy. I'm intentional. I'm an open book. I'm giving this woman all of
mm,
this stuff that I have been holding for years and years and years. And after about 2.5 years of therapy, I go for a session one day and she basically turns around and busts it open for me right at the end of the session.
mm,
Wow.
mm.
And
Yeah. Wow.
what do I
Hey,
Yeah.
do?
Man, that
Wait, I have a question for you guys.
yeah.
I have a
Well,
question for you guys.
Go
What
ahead,
do I
man.
do? What do I do? What on that day, what do I do?
It depends on. I'm gonna answer for myself. Now, depending on my current situation outside the therapy office, I'm gonna go through a couple of different options in my head. But
Right. So one of the
yeah.
things that I had learned from almost 2.5 years of therapy is that I need to go through a period where I'm by myself. I almost feel, I
mm-hmm.
almost feel in
That's so
retrospect
good.
that I was actually groomed. Right. She
mm,
was, she,
Mm,
was- she was,
yeah.
she was,
That's yeah. That's what it sounds
she
like.
was younger. She was younger, but she was a really,
Mm,
really good therapist. She pulled some things out of me. I resolved a lot from that experience. But yeah, man. Uh, wait, is your wife Pam Burgess Daniels? Daniels Burgess?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Me and Pam go way back. I'm way, way, way,
Okay.
way. No, no, not nothing. No, 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 no. But professionally, we know.
Hey,
No,
yeah.
I just thought about. I just thought.
Hey,
No,
this gonna be one of my top
no.
episodes.
I just thought about how I had opened my whole
Hey,
everything
hey,
up.
yo, babe. No.
I had opened my whole everything up, and it's like, oh yeah, I know you. No, 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 not this. But Pam is you are
Hey,
a blessed
hey,
man. She's good people. Good people.
hey, hey, let me tell you, I gotta, some other time I'll share the story of how we met, and you talk about on a lark, but yeah, I am blessed, man. But I mean,
But
to
but
bring it back, what an incredible story. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think
yep,
she did
yep.
groom you.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to sit here and say, hey, there was these benefits that were drawn that these things got drawn out of me that weren't getting drawn out any other
Hmm.
way, and then hey, I'm
Yep.
vulnerable, and this young lady was not professional because she took advantage of that. And it's I mean, we laugh as men because hey, I honestly don't know what I would have done. I'd been like, hey, maybe there's some new techniques they trying out here.
Man,
People say,
man,
hey,
man,
technique on,
man,
sis.
man.
But it is on a serious tip, um, man, when we're vulnerable like that and open to anything and trying to get
Yep.
things right, man, it would have been good if she had treated
Yeah.
it a different
Yeah.
way. But
Yeah.
but you
Yeah. But
hear,
yeah. Yeah.
God used
Yeah.
that in your
Yeah. That
life.
was that.
Yeah.
That was the end. That was the end of that situation. For my own
Hmm.
benefit. Like I'm like
Sure.
I can't. I know where this is going to lead. So, I ended up. So from there, I went to spiritual counseling.
mm,
Oh my God. Let me tell you something, man. If you are not rooted, right, and really know the Bible for yourself or whatever is your spiritual leadership trajectory. I came up Christian. I came up, like I said, my grandfather. I think that God builds things into our lives that protect us unknowingly for us. They protect us. So the fact that I grew up knowing the Bible, growing up in church, some of these things that I was coming in contact with, I know were of God, right? So
Hmm.
spiritual counseling was the next place that I went because I'm like, well, if I mean this. no, this is not going to work. So,
That's not
so
spiritual.
I figure if I go to the church, then at least it's going to be cleaner, if nothing else.
Cleaner's
And
such a good word.
yeah, but you know, this guy was feeding me
Mm.
a whole bunch of, for lack of a better word, malarkey, as if I didn't know the word. You know,
Mm,
he was giving me word to study, and then turn right around and just beat the word up in our sessions. And I'm just like, this is not gonna work for me, because eventually I'm gonna expose this guy for who he is.
mhm,
And so, uh, all that to say, there was about a good 7 or 8 year period where I had no episodes, no therapy, no medication, that I can all attribute to like my own personal relationship with God. And
mhm,
then eventually he led me to other spaces, men, right?
mhm,
Because I realized during that therapy, um, with the young lady, that the space that I was missing in my life was community with men.
mhm. That's
Yeah.
it.
And so if she changed my life in any way, it was definitely that, because what I learned from that is that my frames of reference for manhood, how to take care of myself as a man, how to interact with women, uh, those things I could only learn from my original frame of reference, who was my grandfather. But you know, my grandfather never really talked to me about manhood, manly things. He never said,
Mm.
"This is how you treat a woman." I always saw him treat my grandmother great. So maybe, you know, his style was lead by example. But he never
Right.
explicitly talked to me about, "Hey, son, you don't." Uh, marry a girl and then go have sex with another chick 3 days
Yeah.
later, you know, uh,
Yeah.
and he, so I think where what led me to you guys is
Mhm,
community of men, right?
mm,
And I've watched a few of your episodes, and I do believe that I have good discernment, and I've really believed that what you guys are doing here is genuine and raw, and there is a cadre of men out there who need spaces like this, and
mhm,
because they
Yeah.
really, I when I really think about it in retrospect, I've never really had a space like this where it's me and three men, me and two other men, like talking about things that I feel safe talking to people. I don't really know you guys. I know Latch because we work together, but I feel
Right.
safe because what harm can be done to me now that I'm releasing it? And maybe I'm helping you or someone who watches
Yeah.
an episode to say, I think it's time for me to let go of some of this stuff that I've been carrying. I wonder why I've been having these crazy moments in my life where I don't know which direction my life is going. And it's because I just don't have a community of men where I can like really say, "Oh man, do y'all think that was kind of strange that that happened to me?"
mhm,
Because of a woman, and no shade to women, will often judge you when you say something. If I were to tell, now my current girl, I probably could tell her anything because she thinks that I'm nuts. She thinks
Sure.
I'm nuts anyway. Um, but you know, as you when you're in relationship and you tell people your deepest things, they don't use it as something that, you know, the two of you can grow from. They often use it against you, or they often will
Yeah.
judge you for, you, how dare you did that, you're going to do that to me.
mm,
And so
Hmm.
so to have community of men who where you can just get these things off. And if you guys judge me, great.
Yeah.
If you don't, great. But I would rather share these things with men, someone who is in my decade, and someone who is aspiring to get to my decade so they can say,
Yeah.
interesting. I can relate, I can't relate, or he said something that I won't dare do, or damn, that's not far off from what I did, uh, you know, 6 months. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hey,
And because I think another one of your pillars that you talked about is now now that I'm doing this, how do I get better? What are the things that I do to grow, to get better physically, to get better mentally, to get better socially, and then how can I give back? And I think that you guys have created a really special space. You may not have thought that when you came up with this whole concept, but I'm here to tell you, when as I've been listening, I'm like, man, you wait till I get a chance to open up to these guys and share some of my story with
Man,
them.
we're gonna
Like,
have to do part two.
definitely,
Hey, Lee, let
definitely.
me tell you something.
No, man. Hey,
Oh,
man,
go
we
ahead, B. Go ahead,
appreciate
B.
that, man.
You got something? Oh,
No, no,
yeah.
I was just saying we appreciate the words, and it comes from what you sensed is it comes from a genuine place of two dudes trying to figure it
Hmm.
yeah,
out, and in the work, like, um, man, I had this issue at drop off last Saturday. Something popped off with my 20-year-old daughter, and just did like you said, unless you are in a barbershop situation and you're only in there for 45 minutes and it's kind of hit or miss, there's no place aside from a really conscientious
yep,
church with a men's
Yes.
ministry that says, hey fellas, this is the place where we unpack that. But most churches, they just aren't developed enough to develop that for men. We need
yep,
time,
Hmm.
and it takes a while for us to just pull the mask off and say, hey, I did this. This was my era of
yep,
dirt, and it's
yep.
dirty.
Hmm.
And if you judge me or I sense that, man, I'm just gonna go into this shell and I'll give you the mask, and that's all
That's
you're
Right,
gonna
it.
get. But
right. But
it comes from two dudes who just wa- we're doing the work, and man, we genuinely don't want guys to have a harder struggle down the road
you
that we
got it.
did.
You got it. I mean, and
That's it.
think about it. When Jesus was such a servant, that the way he helped clean men is he would wash their feet for them, right?
Mm.
To help them get clean. And we as men, we need spaces like that. And you guys can help me long term with the church. I have issues with church right now, and these men who are professing to be men of God, and they are spitting scripture, and they're spitting word, and the Jesus that I studied, that wasn't his work. That wasn't his work. He was a real Jesus was a really, really humble man who could say the hardest thing to you and build you up at the same time. And we got these learned men of the word. They know the word, but they over here beating people over the head with the word. And I just don't. I struggle with that. But I know that I
Yeah.
know that part of my calling is to be in community, uh, uh,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
men. So that's the piece that I'm working on right now. All that other stuff, man, I'm just praying to God that he just don't knock, look at me and be like, hey, dude, I don't know what you are standing in this line for. I'm just praying that he's like, no, man, come on. I gave you all of that stuff, so I understand. I'm not gonna cast you out, but that's the phase that I am in life right now. Like,
Mm.
Yeah.
we as men have a real high calling to get better, to commune with each other, so that we can also take care of the women, because women need
Yes.
women need some leadership too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not that they are not leaders. That I don't want to
No.
send that message, but they need some leadership too, and they are legitimately looking at us,
Hmm.
especially black men. They are looking at us to get better, to be better, and to be leaders, because they gonna push us. They gonna push us. They gonna push us. So, if
Yeah.
I can get there, or if I can help somebody get there, man, that is, I believe that I strongly
Yeah.
believe that is my calling.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing here. That
Yeah.
is
Well,
what
you're
this.
doing it,
Yep,
man.
you sure are. And this started from Kelly and I having conversations about child support, drop offs, and pickups, and going through situations that we had put ourselves in because of dumb decisions we made.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
not because someone else did something to us. It's because we did something to ourselves, and it
Yeah.
manifested itself into this. And what happened, what an unintended positive consequence of this is having people on that are willing to open up and talk becomes this lesson for us, these learning experiences for us. And it also is therapy for us because we get to sit here and talk about
Yeah.
our issues and our problems, just like
Mm-hmm.
you get to do the same thing when
Yeah.
you're a guest. So it's just an
Mm-hmm.
amazing experience, man. And just how open you have been. And I feel like we only got through the first chapter tonight,
Yes.
Oh man,
Yeah,
we
but
are
it
not.
man.
is,
We
it
we
is
are
10
not in
o'clock.
the layers. We
No,
are not
but
in the
I
layers.
really want to, like, we say this often, but this is the time I mean it the most. I really want to have you back on as soon as possible to do a part two. Um, yeah, I think there's just so much that we can dive into. We barely touched on, your marriages. We didn't touch on fatherhood hardly at all. And we dove a little bit into that man community aspect of things, which
Mm-hmm.
is so important, as you had so beautifully articulated, and now as B had referenced as well. But I would love to have you on for a second episode, a part two. But for tonight, we're going to hang it up, call it quits.